How far do we want to go back? Well, I'll start with the Paris adventure. So I was working in fashion PR marketing in London, and after a while I was kind of bored, so I thought I'd move to Paris and study patisserie. So I packed my bags, got on the train, moved to Paris, studied patisserie, learned French, and after a couple of years I kind of liked it, and then I thought, I'll stay here. I had many jobs, and then I got a job in a cookbook shop, and I started to meet authors, and that's how I got a cookbook deal in France. So I wrote 2 cookbooks in French, and then after that I wrote The Little Paris Kitchen, chez Rachel, which was in English. And then when I was writing the cookbook, I opened my 2-seater restaurant, and then I thought this book would make a good TV show. So I pitched the TV idea, the BBC liked it, did a TV show, and the TV show came out 2 years ago in March. And then after the craziness of the TV and the book, my publisher in the UK said, what would you like to do? And I said, I'd like to travel around France, because I hadn't really had the chance to discover France and the different areas, and that's how I came to this book.
My Little
French Kitchen. Exactly. I can't say it in Dutch.
That doesn't matter. So in a nutshell,
yes,
because you had your own underground
restaurant. Yeah. I mean, I say restaurant like that because it was literally, my apartment in Paris is tiny. It was just a table with 2 chairs in my living room, or because I live in a studio in Paris, it becomes my bedroom. It's my office during the day, it's my bedroom at night time, it's my restaurant when people came over, so very flexible. The cookbooks I like, or the TV shows I like, are the ones which tell a story. And I think that is what makes a difference between just a recipe, which you can easily find online, and a book. I think if you do a cookbook, you need to offer something more, because otherwise somebody can always find the recipe online. So a cookbook should offer, good recipes, obviously, but it should also offer some stories. And it needs to look amazing. You want people to pick it up and like, it's an escape. You can imagine yourself traveling around France or Paris, and and discovering something new. Food is about discovering a culture. It's about it's tied so much with different things. It's not just about eating, I think. This is the difference between, like I was saying beforehand, if you make a cookbook which is not just about recipes, which is about a story, which has beautiful photos. I have an iPad, and I've looked at cookbooks. I've even looked at my own cookbook on the iPad, and it's not, the e-version is never as beautiful as picking one up and flicking through, and and what happens when you cook with a cookbook is it begins to tell your own story, because you get it messy, or you cook with your kids and they've got their fingerprints on it. So you begin to tell your own story, and I think there's something, if you offer a cookbook which is more than just recipes, then it won't go away.